Welcome to Let's Talk LVNV. This is episode 2 and date 11/15/2022. We're here again with Ben Ralston from Synchronus, and he's the creator and master behind the STARS program. Last week, when we did the first one, we talked about STARS and what STARS stands for. And after we talked about it, he says it stands for Stagehand Time Attendance Reporting System, and that's about as far as it went. So what happens is many years ago, there was a gentleman named Mark H., and he was very good at putting name letters together to make words to make it all work. And he's the one that created STARS, the name STARS, which STARS stands for Stagehands. Stagehands, though, could be staff, could be a number of different things, which basically means anyone working in the entertainment, convention, trade show, construction industry, or anywhere managers need to track workers. Is that about right?
Pretty much. Festivals, shows, conventions, sites, construction sites.
Just about anywhere you want to track labor, track workers. And it works very well for doing that. Guys scan in, scan out, and you can see it, and you can be anywhere to track that labor, that staffing, that staff, whatever it is. But the S stands for stagehands. Stagehands meaning a broad thing, from video editors to electricians, to audio people, to programmers, to directors,
makeup,
wardrobe. It could be a number of things, and stagehand's just a broad name for all of that. And we know that stagehands call themselves. Video people don't want to be called stagehands. Wardrobe doesn't want to be called stagehands, but we're using stagehands as an open term. And then the next thing is time, which is the T in STARS. And this is a measurement used to compare the duration of an event or worker's hours. And it's just a way of keeping track of it, and that's done with the ISO, scanning in, scanning out, using your phone.
CISO.
CISO. Yeah, CISO, ISO.
It's a CISO
ISO,
app.
CISO. And keeping track of the time for the duration. Then there is the A, which is attendance. And I have down here, after we went back and forth a little bit on it and what it meant, tracking those individuals that are present on the job site. So you need to know who's there, when they're there, how long they've been there, the whole duration of referring to time, but you need to know the attendance, who's there, who's on the job site, and when they're not on the job site. So that's what attendance actually stands for. Is that about right?
Yeah, pretty close.
Kind of. And then you have reporting, which is the R in STARS. And this is being able to pull from the STARS program any information used for business individuals and to help the decision makers make decisions. There's a number of reports that are in the program. There's a number of reports that aren't in the program that can be added to the program, and it goes from money, contracts, pensions, benefits,
annuities, vacation, training.
You can pull so much reports out of it. You can pull how many guys have OSHA cards, how many guys have rigging cards, how many guys have video cards, how many guys, what they have, and the reports are pretty elaborate.
How many guys were on site? How long were they there? Who was there more? Who had the most overtime?
And so reports are growing daily or weekly.
Growing.
It grows all the time, and it will never end. And the last after the R is an S, and that's systems. And basically what it come up with is influenced by its environment, described by its boundaries, structures, purpose, expand in its use of function, structure, and behavior. It's the system. It's the whole system in a whole, what STARS is, what STARS can do. It's the system. So STARS is so big and so broad and getting bigger and more complex,
But still easy to use.
but still easy to use because it's designed to be simple. It's designed to have guys that aren't computer guys work on it. If you're a computer guy, it's really easy. But I'm not a computer guy, and I can use STARS and use all the functions, and that's what it's designed for. Keep it simple. The KISS system. So that's kind of what we come up with on what the STARS terminology is, what it means, what each letter means, and what Mark created many, many years ago. So anything you'd like to add to that?
No, it's a good name.
STARS.
Good name.
And Synchronus, which is the company that owns STARS, is we have at the bottom powered by Synchronus, because Synchronus is going to have many apps. There's
Many.
many apps in this. It has the app for the STARS. It has the digital new hire paperwork in it.
And we're coming up with many more.
Many more. Eventually we'll have a rental program into it. One day, which won't be real close soon, it'll be an accounting program and be able to do a number of different things. And it'll all be under the umbrella of Synchronous. So what we've come up with is one of the things that I'd like to say when using a program or any program it's not as easy as plug and play. What do you think?
No, generally no.
Is no program is easy as plug and play. Many years ago, we brought on Dynamics, and that was crazy, because if you don't have a person that is a computer genius or a computer whiz, it gets very cumbersome. And if you don't have someone dedicated to it, it becomes very hard. So with the STARS program, as it is simplified, it is as easy. It still needs someone there to oversee it.
But they don't need to be a computer expert.
They don't need to be a computer expert. You need someone there that keeps track of the time, keeps track of everybody, makes sure everybody's signing in, make sure that the system is working right. If you have any questions, you can call Synchronous. You can call Joe or Ben or Kelly, or there's a number of different people you can call.
It just needs a normal manager, just a normal person to keep an eye on day-to-day activities, just like we do now without computers.
And you need that person. You need that one person that can do it, that can make up sit down and talk about the payroll and how to import it into payroll, and work with the payroll department to actually simplify it. Like I said, I think I said this last time, we had a payroll person that didn't want to use it because she's afraid of it. Once she started to use it, I was going to take it back, and she wouldn't let me. She got mad at me, actually, because it simplified her. And then she says, I can get my payroll done in a day and a half. I says, oh, does that mean I can let you go for 3 days? And she said, no. But it simplified it and took the whole payroll idea and took it down into days. So it simplifies it because no double entry, no triple entry, no overseeing what's going on or anything else. Someone else is doing that and handing it to her. And it works for a number of different people. And we're set up for QuickBooks.
Yeah, QuickBooks, Paycheck, Dynamics, exporting to different payroll services that our customers use.
And so it's all set up that it exports to it pretty simply and easily with the person behind the computer that can actually do that and send it off to the right people.
Well, we design it so that it exports the way the customer wants. And if it doesn't work right, then we make it work right.
We make it work right. So it exports through.
It can export to either some sort of format for a program or a company. It can export to PDF, or it can export to Excel. So it can export in many different ways that you need it so that it solves your problems.
Very clear. It solves your problems.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I know it's Salt Ours, it's in-house production. So as we're moving on, and Joe's back there hitting buttons, like that little cat hitting the computer. I'd like to. There's several things in the works. Number one is unbillable booth.
Sometimes we've had customers who don't want to bill someone for people's time. So
Don't want to bill someone for people's time.
maybe you have a bullpen or extra people on the job that you have show up in case people are absent or don't show up, or you have additions and something like that. What happens is sometimes the customer doesn't want to pay for those extra people that you've brought in. And so you need to be able to send them a daily summary or an estimate or a final bill. And you need to not track these people's time, or at least not track it for the customer. You need to maybe pay the guys and it's for them being there, but you don't want it to show up on the customer's bill. So what we've done is basically created a way where you can drag people into a task or a booth and then make it unbillable. And what happens is we exclude it from reporting so that it won't show up on any reports that you don't want it to.
So if I get this right, so if you have a bullpen and you have guys there, you need to track that the guys are there. You need to track that how long they're in the bullpen.
You need to pay them.
Which you can't bill it to a client.
Right, for some reason.
Yeah, for any reason, because they haven't gone out to the client's job, but you still have to pay the guys for being there.
Right.
And that's what the unbillable booth is just to keep track of guys that you can't charge to the client.
Mm-hmm.
And that's up and working.
That's up and working. So what you do is when you're going into your labor plan, you simply add
just like that,
or
it's like there.
Well, it's right there. I don't know where he's going to put it. So, but you add your people to the list. Maybe it's an electrician, maybe it's a fireman, maybe it's a props. I'm going to laugh if you're looking in the wrong direction. And then
no, I'm looking at the I'm like the news reporter.
He's going to cut you in somehow. But you add your people, and then you simply type your names in, and then maybe if I can type right. And then,
never said he was a typist. He's just a computer guy.
Yeah, exactly. Pat Dash. Oops, I got to do it the other way. Last name first. And then we type Pat in. And let's put Pat in. Oh, he's already working, but let's just work him there. And let's turn on another.
Oh, yeah, I signed into
another thing. You did sign in today. Let's get a wardrobe person and an advanced AV. And then what happens is, let's see, let's make that Eddie. And then he's already working. And then we'll make this Patrice.
So it's about having people that you can't bill to the client, but you still have to pay them. So you want to track them, and that's what unbillable booth is. It's just the bullpen.
Yeah,
just sitting there waiting.
I'm going to put all those people's time in. Let's estimate that they had hours there. Oops, I don't want that 10 o'clock. Let's make that 20. Maybe give them some hours. And then what happens is let's say you have this booth right here, this task, and you want to exclude it from reports. You can simply click here to exclude it from reports. And now Ben and Pat will no longer show up in any reports you pull. So, for example, you'll pull let's see, maybe you want a daily summary. Pop that up real quick. And then as we look here, oh, look, there's Patrice and there's Eddie, but there's no Pat and there's no Ben.
But you can pull up a report that is from unbillable booths.
Well, yeah.
It has all that in
After you send out whatever you need to the client, you can simply come back to them and say, okay, well, I've done my customer stuff, and now you can say, I want to include it in reports. And now I need to pay people, and then I'm going to export a payroll type report or something I need to import to payroll. And look, Ben and Pat are there. And Ben and Pat are right there. And now you can import them for payroll or however you need.
Right on. Sounds like a pretty nice added feature to the STARS program.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great. And then you added a new thing called Showtime.
Showtime. Yep.
Showtime.
Showtime.
And,
Showtime.
and as he's told me, Showtime is if you're working a show, let's say a show on a strip like Jubilee or one of the shows,
Broadway.
You get paid by the show. So you're not getting paid hourly. You're getting paid by the show. So the show could be 5 hours of pay, but you're not there for 5 hours. You're only there for 3 hours. So it's slated as a block of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is called Showtime. But a lot of times when you're doing like Broadway shows and other shows, you come in early. You got mop time. You have cleanup time. You have preset time. You have a lot of time before the show that is figured out on hours.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me if I'm right. So the show is separate from hours on the same day, but it's all added together at the end of the day. So if you mop, you have 2 shows, you mop in between the show, that's just slated as an hour. It doesn't do anything to the show call, showtime. And then if you work an hour after the show, that's completely separate of the showtime. So you could have 1 or 2 shows plus 3 or 4 hours.
Pay, yeah.
And it's completely separate. Is that about right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, you'll get paid your hourly rate when you need it, and then when the show starts and the show ends, you'll get paid your show time. And if you're still working after the show, then it starts your hourly rate right back up again. Basically, what happens is when you create your job, let's say we're going to do the job that I'm testing things out on right now. So it's this 2022 test, and we're going to pop in here, and you're going to see that you have your contract here that you normally use for pay. It may have your hourly rates and whatever. And then at the bottom here below the tasks, you have your show times. And you can click and select a different type of contract that you may want to use. I'm going to select that one. And then you can say, I want to add show times now for it. So click add, select the date that you want to do stuff on. And so let's say today. And I want the show to be from 2000 to
So it works in 24
2200.
hours,
24-hour time scale, just like this
24
program
hours.
STARS already works.
just like STARS. So STARS works in a 24-hour, not from 12 to 12 and go from AM to PM. It's
Yeah, because we don't want people making those AM PM mistakes.
okay.
So you can click and add your show time there, and you can add as many as you want, or duplicate it for another day if you have the same times. And then once you're done, you can come out and go to time tracking and fill in some time, and we can test it out. Let's say that an advanced AV is going to get paid, $100 for the show. Let's get manual real quick here. Advanced AV, or let's assistant. Let's do assistant. Assistant's nice. And then let's say he's going to get paid $100 for the show. And let's say
You come on back.
a carpenter is going to be $200 for the show. And then we're coming here, save the contract. We've already applied the contract. We've already applied the show time. Let's go back to time tracking. Let's double check our time here. We have a 15. Yep, that's all the time there. Let's change those positions real quick so that we have what we want. I believe we said assistant. And then let's change Mr. Eddie to a advanced AV. Oh, he's already an advanced AV. Perfect. Wonderful. So now let's export a sample report that we're making for someone that shows the show times.
And this all can be put into contracts, right?
This can all be put into contracts.
And in contracts, you can do union contracts if you have a contract with one of the locals, the IA locals or the ironworker locals or 158, 665, 720. You can put that all into the contract and it'll pull it automatically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's what we're doing.
And so what happens is you pop in, we create your form for you, however you need it to be. And then you can see that Patrice here was an assistant and she got $100 for that show. And because she worked during the show times, and people that did not work during the show times didn't get any
paid,
money
didn't
for
get
the show time.
They just got hours. So they went, wow, that's
Exactly.
good. That's pretty. So we're good.
So, and this can be created in any form or that you use and exported to and sent off to the client or customer to show them proof of everybody being there.
Wow.
And this also shows up in their app so they can see how many hours they've worked.
So it's
et
all in
cetera.
their app, and does it say showtime in their app too?
They can if they need to.
Wow.
And so if you have everything set ahead of time, then everything's automatic. The guy comes in, scans in, goes to work, does his stuff, scans in, goes out. And if you have the show time and the contract entered correctly, then everything happens and you just look at the aftermath.
Wow. I don't know what you guys think, but I think this is pretty trick. After all the work that we've done, just trying to track shows and everything, it's all here in the STARS program. Wow. You did a fine job, Ben.
Well,
Fine
thanks.
job.
Yeah. hmm
Richard would be proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And then we have another thing that you've added to this called add-on.
hmm
What is that? What is an add-on? You just adding someone on, or what is it?
We've come to find out that many people bill differently across the country naturally. And so
Built
sometimes,
differently. What do you mean?
well, instead of an hourly rate, they need to give somebody a little bit of extra money because maybe they've done a truck, or maybe they've done broadcast, maybe they did pyro, maybe they used a certain skill, maybe they have a certain certification that gets them a bump in pay. And it's not necessarily an hourly bump, but just a static amount bump. It could also be used for parking. You need to reimburse people for different parking rates at different locations. And so what you can do is in those contracts where we were before, you can simply go back to where we were, thankfully. And then you can have a section
On the
right here
screen.
called add-ons. And you can simply type an add-on, maybe it's parking. And we can give it a value. Let's see, I need to reimburse these guys $10 for parking. And then let's say I need to add, I don't know, maybe the guy unloaded a truck. And maybe we gave him $50 for doing the truck in addition to his normal pay. You can simply add those in right there and save the contract. And then when you come here to time tracking, let's say you have a number of workers and let's say, oh, well, we come back to time tracking. And now when we click on this add-on column here, we can simply see the add-ons that we put into the contract. And you can simply click them and apply them to the person. And when the form exports for payroll or whatever you need, they simply show up on the report. Well, for example, maybe you need to maybe you want to take those away real quick. Oops, you made a mistake. It's as simple as that. Maybe you need to give everyone parking. Oh, okay, you can simply click everybody, click the drop down here in add-ons at the top and say, okay, I'm going to give everybody parking, and then apply. And then now everybody gets reimbursed for parking when they export the payroll or whatever you need.
So that's what the add-ons are. They're just, you can put anything in there
Anything.
that you want when you need it.
hmm
So if you're.
Flat
if you're
dollar
gonna pay
amounts
it,
or
if you're
percentages.
billing the client, if the guys are getting more money, if they're not getting more money, if you just want to give a guy a bonus, if the client says, I want to pay these guys 2 hours extra,
Mhm.
you can just add it on, and that's what the add-ons are.
For some reason, for somehow you need to do it, it's here.
Unbillable booths and hours is a good thing, so you can keep track of who's there, even if they're not working. The Showtime's got to be incredible.
You like showtimes
I like Showtime.
as much as dark mode.
I like Showtime as much as dark mode, and maybe even more because it simplifies dealing with show calls. And then the add-ons, and the add-ons has been here a while, hasn't it?
Just
No?
came in same time as showtime.
Showtime? Because I know that in the
talked about
program, you had areas where you could add things like trucks and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and everything it was a kind of a
The roundabout.
easy
Yeah.
add-on, but
It makes more sense doing it this way.
yeah, I agree. I'd like to say this is episode 2 of the STARS program, which is just the beginning. What we're going to do here is through the weeks, we're going to go through different parts of the STARS program. We're going to try to keep you familiar of what's coming, what's there, how to access it, what has been working, and what we're doing to make it work better. One of the things that will be is in the works is a calendar. And a calendar is going to do,
Job calendar,
Job
dashboard,
calendar.
tons of things.
and then there's keeping track of gear, rental gear, equipment,
Certs.
certifications. So an individual can actually put certifications in their STARS
App or program.
STARS program, and then they can from the program or the app, they can actually send it to the clients if they want.
Or anybody that needs to. Maybe you have an OSHA person on site and they need your OSHA cert.
And you'll be able to do it if you have, and it doesn't matter how many OSHA certs you have or how many certifications, and that's all in the works. So there's a lot of new and exciting stuff coming with the program, from the exciting stuff that's on the program now. And we want to say this week, LDI is in Las Vegas this week, and we would like to say hi to all the LDI people down there. LDI is a show that is designed for stage people, lighting, audio, video, and there will be a ton of video walls. And so if you're at the convention center this weekend, you should stop by and go check it out. But for right now, I'd like to say thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Pat.
This was exciting, and thank you, Joe, for being behind the camera and pushing the buttons. And I'd like to say thank you for in-house production for sponsoring this. Let's talk LVNV. So as I say, goodbye. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.